When it comes to Muslims, it's the ideology that I reject wholeheartedly, never the people. Watch this.
Don't have mosques in a Christian country. Remember, they cheered on 9/11? Not gonna lie, this don't bother me. Crusaders uprising and it's about time. These are some of the responses to yesterday's shootings. Humanity, we are better than this. This desensitizing language is the same thing that causes things like the Holocaust and Epstein's Island. Desensitization leads to some of the greatest evils in human history. I got DMs attacking me for condemning these actions, saying that I was a privileged Westerner who's not thinking of the Nigerians being killed by Muslims. Now, I can't begin to imagine what our brothers and sisters in Nigeria are going through, but what I can't understand is why people halfway across the world have to die. Those of you who are celebrating or condoning these actions, the security guard was killed for protecting the Muslims. And this is where it becomes personal, because I have a Christian friend who does private security for a mosque in Dearborn, Michigan. She is a woman of God and loves Muslims and is constantly evangelizing them. And so for those of you calling for or condoning these actions, her blood, a Christian woman, would also be on your hands. And she would be the one killed, the one willing to say, you know what, I disagree with you, but I still see you as a human, one deserving to be protected. So humanity, I implore you to be more human. Whether you believe we have God-given value in every single human being that deserves life, we can all acknowledge that humans have intrinsic value and their lives deserve to be protected. I want to go one step further as to say, not only do humans deserve to be alive, but they deserve to be spoken about and thought about as if they have intrinsic God-given value. I'm fully convinced if we can start changing this culture in social media, it would be one of the most powerful things we can do to stand against hate and injustice such as this.
Our great king said that these things must happen for the Son of Man to return a second time, that there will be wars and rumors of wars, nations will fight amongst nations, and that people's hearts will grow cold due to increased lawlessness. This, unfortunately, is par for the course, for we are in the last days. My sister is speaking from a biblical worldview when she says, humanity, we need to do better. We need to learn how to become human again. Well, Jesus Christ is the only way for people to actually understand the fullness of what she's talking about. To have Leviticus chapter 19 verse 18 in your heart, you shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. When you have a lot of people that completely reject the biblical worldview for the aspects of atheistic worldviews, what essentially brought about the most bloodiest century in the history of mankind, that being the 20th century, due to atheist communistic values coming from Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong. Those individuals cost millions of deaths because they didn't give a rip about the biblical worldview or Leviticus chapter 19 verse 18. They did whatever felt good to them in the moment. Here's the thing. We are all sinners. As a result, please understand this, brethren and my sisters alike, that there are Muslims as we speak who are turning to becoming Christian. We need to continue evangelizing harder and letting these folks know, everyone, Muslim, atheist, doesn't matter, unbeliever, doesn't matter. We need to let them all know the fullness of the truth, whether they stand for an antichrist religion with antichrist ideologies or not. For Jesus Christ is the only answer, and the only way for nations to change is that people's hearts must change. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 13, God did not create death, nor does he take delight in the destruction of the living. Even in the wicked sinners, he does not take their delight. It breaks his heart, for he loves everyone and wants everyone to make the free will choice to come to him and turn to him. But here's the thing. Romans chapter 5, verse 8. Even though while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That being said, we need to let them know how important it is that they turn to Christ while they still draw breath in their lungs. But if people are celebrating death, then there is a massive problem in that. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24, talks about people who are celebrating this death. That due to the devil's envy, death came into the world, and those who follow the devil experience death themselves. So people need to be extremely careful when they're cheering on the demise of anyone. For we are all sinners and have fallen short of the glory of God, which is why we all need to turn to Christ while we still have breath in our lungs. All glory to my great King. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I wish you all have a blessed day. Take care.